Okay, so just complete this sentence for me. Yeah. The greatest challenges I have overcome in the past 3 weeks are.
I think my own inner lethargy and inertia has dragged me back in the first initial few weeks. The fact that I'm not used to getting up early, not used to being, alright, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. Yeah, I think that slowed me down initially, and also just this negative thought that what if I fail, the fear of failing. It stops you from starting in the first place, but once you start, I think you just get into it. It's good.
Okay, good. I commit to raising the standard for myself in the last 3 weeks by. So in the next 3 weeks that are going to come up, how are you going to raise the bar?
As in, I haven't started my community immersion at all, which is relatively straightforward for me to do. I spent 2 years in a nursing home volunteering, so it's not as if it's a hard thing. I just ring them up and say, yeah, can I come in again? Just haven't done it because, I don't know. I think it's there. I think I'm just going to go and do it. It's not so much a question of how to make sure I do it or I don't do it, what then, it's just do it.
And what do you see is important about community immersion? So what's the importance behind it?
I think there's several things. One is self-development. So by going out into a relatively unfamiliar environment, it builds sort of self-confidence that yes, I can go and talk to these people, and they're not going to bite my head off. But also from talking to them, you can learn things about. It depends where you go with your community immersion project, but you can learn about the communities, how they function, what we as some can learn from them, but also as an individual. By just throwing yourself out there, you might meet some really inspirational people. So I think it's sort of a journey. You don't exactly know where it's going, but it's going to be a good experience.
Finally, worth mentioning. So, is there anything in the last 3 weeks that you feel that's worth mentioning? So, a story or a message, even.
I think one story that comes up is I went to Wellingborough Shaka, and the age range there is 13 to 17, so they're all relatively fit, all friendly, and they work together. And then when they play kills such as Varesi, Bilika Bacha, there are those individuals that just throw themselves into it and enjoy it and love the kill. And then there are those that are scared and they sit on the fringes and they don't want to be in the middle, they don't want to take a little bit of pain. And those people that threw themselves into it, from talking to them afterwards, they enjoy Shaka, they enjoy that a lot more than the guys that are on the fringes that don't. So what you can do is just introduce them to it together so they don't feel I'm alone, because it is hard to do stuff on your own. Sometimes it's easier to maybe slightly follow someone. So if the more active Swimsucks, the more active Garigar does, can set an example, and even I think it's not always necessary to have a shik-shak relationship, not to be like do this, do that, but just to be friends, and that way it's not necessary to always talk about Shaka either, but to be friends and sort of lead the perhaps more passive onto just doing something more that they're probably already interested in, but don't have the stimulation or don't have the right guidance to get into.